Hey folks, and welcome to the zone. We're a little bit late on the match reaction. I know, just been a bit busy. Haven't had time to do one. Hopefully this suffices. We've just played Aston Villa in the FA Cup and we've won. We're through to the next round. I just wanted to do a little match reaction as I've been doing throughout the season to this game. I'm finding this bunch of players, just to jump right into it, very hard to like. I'm finding this group of players and this cultural reset that Ollie has done a bit strange. I am not exactly sure what the players are trying to do. I fail to believe they are as bad as they are currently playing. And I also I'm a little bit frustrated with fans in a way, which is a new feeling. I don't really normally get frustrated at our own fans because everybody supports their team in their own way. But I'll just explain how I feel, and then maybe you can relate to that or not relate to that. So, we've had Ranić, the new manager now, for a little while, but not a long stretch by any imagination. Not long enough to put a style in, not long enough to change, quote, cultural problems in the dressing room. None of that. This thing is way, way bigger than Ranić, and it is how the club is run as a whole. I don't want to make this a video about the Glazers because everybody's bored to tears about hearing about them. However, it's hard to basically discuss with somebody that isn't heavily involved in how Manchester United works and how the players sort of are in the club without getting frustrated at, say, you know, how they don't fully grasp it and how the Glazers are the be all and end all of problems. So what I'll say is there seems to be a common pattern. I think now we can all agree, right? David Moyes, Van Gaal, Jose, Carrick, Ole, and Ranić. Not once, even under Carrick, who had just a couple games and we played all right, not once have we seen some crazy high-energy press, real big fight. Most of the time, the players are downing tools and getting upset that they're been told they're not good enough. The cycle kind of goes like this. The cycle goes, the new manager comes in and they G up the players. And they just basically say and do a load of things to get the players on side. That's normal, right? You get the team on side, then you put your philosophy in. They try to put their philosophy in, whether it be David Moyes spamming crosses, Ole trying to be the fittest team in the league, Jose trying to be defensive, Van Gaal trying to do possession with like nice passing, and however the style is the manager wants, whatever it is, they try and put it in. And all of the managers come to the same conclusion. They say, I don't think these players are really good enough to win a league versus a City, a Chelsea, or whoever it might be at that time that's doing well. And when those players hear that, they go, you don't think I'm good enough? I play for Man United. I've played so many games for Man United. I'm clearly good enough. It's you that's the problem. And whether it's because Manchester United like to be a brand and some players are more sort of heavily favoured due to their social media status and all of this, a lot of them just get away with it. And a lot of the time, or all the time, as we can see, the owners go, well, it's easier to get rid of the manager than it is to get rid of 15 players. Like we saw today, there was, quote, 17 people want to leave United or unhappy, right? So obviously it's not feasible to get rid of 15 people when you're the Glazers, because that would mean buying 15 people that actually want to play for Manchester United, and it would mean having a bit of ambition. So why does this not happen at other clubs or happen less? Well, the reason is a lot of the times the players are good enough, and the owners go, well, actually, it's unfortunate that the players are doing this. They shouldn't be doing this. But yes, if we do kick out the manager, this group of players can win us a title. They can win us a trophy or something like that, right? And they make the unfortunate decision that they have to make to fire their manager. The players get a bit of player power, but it kind of works out because the players are good enough to win things. We have got this player power now at Manchester United, which has not been the case before. And we've got player power for players that aren't actually good enough to win the things. So we're constantly kicking out managers and styles for players that simply aren't actually good enough to do the things that made Manchester United famous in the first place. And how does this all relate to Aston Villa? Well, it relates to Aston Villa because it's just absolutely true, basically. I don't think Ranić wants Darren Fletcher sat next to him. He doesn't know Darren Fletcher, and Darren Fletcher doesn't know anything about Ranić's football. The two having a chat about what should happen on the pitch is very strange. But let's forget that. Maybe it's a working relationship and the two like each other. We don't know. But what's strange is the players coming off sulking, Rashford with his head down, two pieces of massively greedy play. You've got Rashford sprinting down, looks across the line and decides, well, if I can actually beat this defender, I can have a shot. He tries to beat him, doesn't quite beat him, then tries to pass. It's too late, the moment's gone. 10 minutes later, Greenwood's in the same situation, looks across at a simple ball for Rashford, and he's probably thinking in the back of the mind, you didn't pass to me, mate. I'm not fucking passing to you. And he shoots and he misses. Likewise, the wayward shots or slow, sluggish on-shot targets, however you want to call them, lofty shots that Greenwood was having, random shots from Bruno. There's just this, I don't know, there's this player power that's coming in, there's this greediness, there's this selfishness, as if to be like, I'm better than all of you. When the reality is, mate, you haven't won anything of note that makes you a Manchester United player. Greenwood, you're all right, mate. You're a young player, you're learning. Rashford, you're all right, mate, but you're not Prem winners, you're not Champions League winners, you're okay players, but they've got this idea that they're the be-all and end-all, and if anybody comes in and tells them, hey, let's do it this way, they get upset and they have a hissy fit. You might think that's untrue. This goes throughout the dressing room. It's not just Rashford, it's not Greenwood or anybody singling out. This just goes throughout the dressing room now. Think about the situation we're in. A new manager has come in. No matter how crap that manager is, there is no way in 4 weeks he has implemented a style. The style has got to the point where everyone's doing it, and then the players make a decision. Let's say, for example, Van Gaal did passing for a year. Maybe at the end of the year, the players could go, look, we keep doing all of the things you're asking us to do. It ain't working, we're unhappy. Okay, I can understand you having a bit of a moan. 4 weeks into Ranić, you're leaking that we shouldn't have signed Ronaldo. I want to leave. I'm unhappy. Training's crap. This is crap. There's camps at Carrington that are segregated and unhappy. 4 weeks into his managerial stint, and a few of those weeks have been close to COVID. So again, how does this relate to Aston Villa? Well, it relates to Aston Villa because what did I just watch? That's how I want to end this video. What did I just watch? I want you to sit down and properly analyse a match. Have a look from about the 68th minute to the 90th minute. And I want you to look at each time Manchester United have possession. It's boring. I know you might not want to do it, but trust me, you'll learn a lot about football this way. Download the game, get a copy of the game and watch it from the 70th minute. And I want you to look at those Manchester United passes coming in. And you'll begin to realise something. Every single pass is either overhit, underhit, wrong target. Every single pass is wrong. There was a good 20-minute spell where there was, I think I counted 4 or 5 actual solid passes, just simple ones, 2 or 3 yarders to another player. Every other pass was overhit, underhit, wrong direction, lunging, and then that makes the other person lunge, and then there's a deflection. The ball was literally never under control for a good 30 minutes, and that's staggering. That's staggering that there are Manchester United players on such money that cannot do the basics. It's either they're not concentrating to do the basics, they just can't be arsed to focus, and they've been con artists and they're not as good as they show, or probably the reality is they're not good enough. There are a lot of players there, and people will think, oh, this is ridiculous. You could realistically reset the entire club of players. There aren't many players left at Manchester United that are title winners. We're in this period, which we always seem to be in, that people are saying we need X amount of players to win, and then the pundits that don't really understand the Manchester United situation say, oh, this is ridiculous. You don't need 10, 15 new players. Look how much they've spent. They need a good manager. They need a system. No, they need a group of players that will bloody listen. Listen to what Ranić normally does. He comes into like a third tier, second tier German club. He gets all the young players, he gives them their chance, he gets them fighting, and let's be honest, a lot of them are probably up for it and really follow Ranić's instructions and try to win things and, press like no tomorrow, because they deep down know if they do that and they win something or they do consistent good performance, one of the big clubs might buy them. At Manchester United, there isn't that. When Ranić comes in and he acts like a school professor and he says you need to do this, 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 and that, they think to themselves, why? I've already made it. I'm at Manchester United. I'm a Man United player. The board aren't going to get rid of me because I'm a brand. I'm famous, and it's easier to keep me because they have no ambition, and I can get top four, and that's all the owners want is top four. So as far as the owners go, they go, this group of players can get top four, so what's the problem? And it's just this real irking feeling when I watch Man U time after time after time that these players don't give anyone a chance. They didn't give David Moyes a chance. You might say, well, it's completely different players. Yeah, but it's the same board. It's the same owners hiring this certain type of player on too much money, giving them contracts too early, and they just stop giving a fuck, basically. They just stop giving a fuck about the basics. There's a reason Scott McTominay gets picked by every single manager. Why? All right, he might be a bit shit in comparison to Champions League winning, Prem League winning midfielders, right? But he bloody tries. That's the truth. He tries. So does Fred. Fred tries. Maguire. All right, he's not the best. He tries. There's a reason sometimes people drop Luke Shaw, because sometimes he can do the overlap and he doesn't. So that's just a lack of trying or a lack of belief or something. Like Martial, Rashford, they go on sulky periods. I remember the best period under Jose was he was rotating Martial and Rashford. Basically, they were getting 60, 30, 30, 60 coming on against tired legs, and that was probably motivating each other. But then eventually they both went, I'm not happy with this, I want to start. And then they got dropped because he said, look, well, you're not good enough to start. And you're probably not going to improve to the level of a Sterling. And that pissed everybody off. Yeah, you probably shouldn't say that in the public. But the reality is, he's right, isn't he? A lot of these players he talks about, he's right. And to bring it back, if you were to get rid of Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Dalot, you were to get rid of Matic because he's getting old. You were to get rid of maybe Martial or Rashford because he's, we're not sure he's ever going to do it. You were to get rid of all these players. Would we be worse off going out and buying 10 different highly rated players? No. Why? Because it used to be we didn't do that, because the players at the club might not have been the level of, say, a superstar at a different club, but they knew all of the values of what Manchester United were. The manager had complete control, and we had a set system because they all believed in the manager and gave it their all because they wanted to earn a new contract. They weren't massively overpaid. So there was that hunger in the squad. He always rotated the squad at the end of the season to keep that hunger. Whereas now, it's not there. And that's not about, they don't have the United DNA. What I'm saying is the players that we could get rid of, those 10 or 11 players, if you were to get rid of them, you're not really losing any sort of, he's a real good trier and he knows the club and he'll give his all. Like, say, a Phil Jones. A Phil Jones would be like somebody that he might not be the best, but you guarantee he's giving you 100% every match. So if you lost him, you might say, we actually have lost that Manchester United DNA and that passion and that desire, right? And that can go a long way. But if you were to get rid of the lot that I've just mentioned and bring in a new bunch that grew up in the, I don't know, Dortmund system or something, yeah, they might not fully get Man U, but just their base level of football ability and basically their ability to want to do what the manager says, to maybe even earn a bigger contract or whatever, that desire, that hunger, can propel them to win us a league. This group of players aren't hungry enough. They don't want it enough. There's a reason Leicester won the league. There's a reason sometimes freak things happen where people win leagues because they really, really want it. There has been opportunities for Man U to go top of the table. There has been opportunities for Manchester United, even during our barren spell, to win cups. Why is it not happening? It's not the manager. It's not the system. It's not Ranić. The players lack the hunger because of the way the board treat them, the way they hand out contracts like candy, the way they kind of seem to insinuate certain players can't be dropped or picked on or mentioned, and that's why there's just a complete lack of hunger in the squad, which is why we're seeing 20 minutes straight of misplaced passes, and we're also seeing on the pitch, Keeley, to note, we're not seeing anyone on the pitch say anything like, what the fuck's going on, mate? Wake the fuck up, like Rooney or Keane would do. None of them are getting on the players because they deep down know they're probably not good enough to go and rag on another player. And also they just don't want it enough, you know? You can't get anywhere with just talent. Talent doesn't do anything. You need the work and the desire. Even if you do the work, you do all of the work and you're talented, but you really, really don't want it. When push comes to shove, when things get difficult, you're not going to be bothered. I don't think this is anything to do with Ranić. Ranić is not the reason the players can't play basic football and pass it. There was one point in the game to sum up what I thought. We went down the left-hand side and Luke Shaw drove with the ball down the left-hand side. There was two defenders like this and there was a gap for Rashford to run through that, and he would basically, his path he would take would be to run through the two defenders, and then he would be running directly down to the corner flag. So instead of Luke Shaw looking inwards to midfield, Rashford could bomb through those two. Then Luke Shaw could have played the ball on the outside to the Rashford sprinting, or used his run and gone inside and used that space. Rashford just didn't run. He just didn't move. And you could say, well, that's lack of coaching, but it's everything. It's lack of desire. And it's people on the pitch saying, come on, man, get running. And this isn't about let's bash Rashford. This is just everyone in the squad, pretty much. Just a complete lack of desire. Why do you think we're not winning things? Do you really think that every single manager we've hired has been so crap that they can't win things? No, it's way, way deeper than that. And we need a lot of new players. We need a style like Ranić or whoever, and we need players to fit that style. Like he said, Pep Guardiola, he's had 5 years of getting his player. When he wanted a new keeper and he said, hey, Joe Hart can't use his feet, they got an expensive keeper. When he flapped, they got an expensive keeper. And when Bravo couldn't use his feet, they got Ederson. And I'm sure if Ederson would have been shit, they'd have got another keeper. And if that keeper would have been shit, they'd have got another keeper until they found the right one. Manchester United go, well, he's all right. It'd be kind of expensive to buy another player, so let's just keep him on contract. There's no hunger in the squad. So yeah, when I do a match review of Aston Villa, Manchester United, what I'm really sat here thinking is, we ain't bloody winning anything because these players can't even be bothered to try for managers.